Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited. As I just realized, I didn't do the polls. We're going to do those live really fast. We're going to throw those up. That's the wrong ticker. That's the wrong ticker. We didn't do the polls, so we're going to do those live as we get this podcast going. So the polls. What did you think of Raw? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Let's throw the poll up on Twitter. I just realized, I'm like, wait, no polls. But we could do them live really fast. It's not that big of a deal to just crank them out really fast. They take literally 20 seconds max to put them on each platform that we do. I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. And the last one goes the community text poll. Liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. Boom, they're all out now. Cool. Sweet. Got it. Good. With that, Monday Night Raw, I thought, was a good show. I was very entertained by this show. And if you guys know me, you know me. I loved the start of this show. It's the thumbnail of this podcast episode. Goddamn. Two-time back-to-back Daytona 500 champion William Byron showed up at the start of the show with AJ Styles. They drove the number 24 Exalta ship. Shoot me now in the freaking head. Exalta Chevy, Frederick Motorsports, into the building inside in Charlotte, North Carolina, or as they say, North Kakalaki. That was awesome as shit. But not only was it awesome because it was William Byron driving in Daytona 500 winner, but it is because William Byron has brought back, Hendrick Motorsports has brought back the greatest, at least my favorite, paint scheme of all time. The DuPont Exalta Flames are back. The Exalta Flames are back. The red into the blue. And if anybody knows me, my two favorite colors are red and blue because of that car. The greatest paint scheme ever. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let's pull this up really fast. Let's go to J-Ski. If you ever want to find anything NASCAR stats-wise or resources-wise, you go to J-Ski. J-Ski is the best. I don't think they're associated with ESPN anymore. They were for a while. But this car. Ooh, boy. Ain't this a beaut? Ain't this just the prettiest race car you've ever seen? So, it'll let me show it on the screen. Ain't this the prettiest race car you've ever seen? The flames into the blue. You got all the red up front. You got the blue flames here, but then the red flames go into... Oh, mama. It is a thing of beauty. You got blue flames up there, and it's the way it all flows so well, where it's like the blue flame on the red, but then the red flames on the blue, and you got more. It's just gorgeous. And in my opinion, the greatest paint scheme of all time. Now, the one thing I don't like that they have... I believe this is new, and we can look this up really fast, but I believe this is new. The halftone here, the halftone gradient. Hold on. Let's do something really fast here on J-Ski. How do I find... They've changed their website around a lot. So here we go. All right, so this was a paint scheme back in like 04, I want to say. Find the 24. Oh, this is when they did them different. This is when their website was different. Gotta go to the 24 regular DuPont. 24 regular DuPont. Where is DuPont Chevy? Oh, it's not found. Okay. DuPont Chevy. Okay, so it is different-ish. That is what we got now. Let's go. I want to say it's like 2007, maybe. And I know it's not a NASCAR podcast, and some of you are probably like, oh, we'll hear this shit. With the flame. Gordon with the flames. We're always, this is it. This is the one that it's the closest to. It's a 2007 scheme. 2007 scheme. So we got that and the flames and the blue. The difference is, and if I can go back here, the difference on these are, as we see, if it'll let me go, this has the flames. There's blue flames in the front and right up on the windshield. On the old car, there's no blue flames in the front. Actually, there's no blue flames at all, except for sort of maybe on the hood, but we can't, or the roof. We can't fully see it. But still, Jeff Gordon's flames, and they don't have the gradient. I was right. They don't have the gradient. That, I'm not a big fan of the halftone gradient. It doesn't kill it for me, though. But yeah, no. Seeing that car show up tonight on Raw. Ooh, boy. Ooh, buddy. If you say someone marked out, this guy. Someone marked out during wrestling shows, this guy. Not for anything on the wrestling show. Well, kind of. Not for anything wrestling related, but kind of. For freaking William Byron. Who, let's just say, was there at the end and didn't wreck. I wouldn't say he was deserving of that win. I wouldn't say, you know, the best car won or one of the best cars won. It wasn't, because going to the checkered flag and on the last lap going to it, he was 9th. And then because the leaders wrecked in front of him, he was able to avoid it, pull a Lightning McQueen, Dick Trickle, come out of it and not wreck. Well, speaking of Dick Trickle, Tom Cruise trying to get a Days of Thunder sequel made. Ooh, how would that one work? What would the story be on that? Maverick was a hit. He's thinking Days of Thunder 2 might be a hit. Because that's why they made Days of Thunder. Top Gun was such a great movie, such a smash hit. They go, let's do it again, but in NASCAR, similar kind of movie. Wasn't as big of a hit. It's more of a cult classic now after it was in theaters, but Days of Thunder. If you've never watched Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, what's his name? He plays the guy in Guardians, Michael Rooker, and then Robert Duvall. Oh, and Randy Quaid's in this movie too. Oh, what a cast. Just think about that. I know I'm getting off topic here, but think about that cast for Days of Thunder. Think about the cast for Days of Thunder. Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, the movie where they met before being married. Robert Duvall, like Michael Rooker, Randy Quaid. Think about that. A young, what's his name? Oh, John C. Reilly, the only man to be in both major NASCAR movies, Days of Thunder and Talladega Nights. Yeah, Wayne Naughton Jr., Jake, and Bake. So yeah, John C. Reilly is the only one to be in both of the major NASCAR movies. Now there's multiple NASCAR movies many people don't know about, like Six Pack and Choker Race, and the list goes on and on. But this ain't a NASCAR podcast. I should be doing a NASCAR podcast, but this ain't a NASCAR podcast. This is a wrestling podcast. We're talking Monday Night Raw, and I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to help us out over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we go live. That way you know when we post to the community tab, and that way you know when we post new videos. Also, if you want to support the channel in another way, you can do so by becoming a member by hitting the join button. As a member at the $1 tier, you get access to our graphics tutorials. You get access to emotes and emojis you can use in the live stream, in the chat, in the comment section. If you're at the $5 tier, you get access to our graphics files. Everything at the $1 tier, but also all of our graphics files, our monthly watch-alongs, and our Q&A that we'll be doing this week as well, our monthly Q&A, that if there isn't a lot of interest in, we'll start doing two monthly Q&As. Right now we're going to do one. There's a little bit of interest. Got a couple questions sent in So we'll see about that. Going to make another post tomorrow about getting questions. Well, you can do all of that, whether that is on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited as a channel member, or patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And remember, if you are watching live on YouTube, you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, or you just want to support the channel and keep all these lights on. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there. There's two back there. Then you can donate a super chat in the live chat. Also, there's light strips back there too. So technically, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7 lights on right now in this studio room, whatever you want to call it. And also remember, if you want to support us, you can do so by going to the Epic Game Store and buying something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Right now, Epic is running till the 24th of their winter sale. You may want to jump in there and grab a game that's on sale. Also, if you've not played Marvel Spider-Man 2 yet, great game, one of my favorite of all time. Well, it's on PC through the Epic Game Store. You can go get it right now. Also, I want to say in just a couple of days, maybe 4 days, I want to say, the new season of Fortnite comes out, Lawless. And if you're going to get that battle pass, you're going to use this code. Because it's going to ask you, hey, you got a creator code? You do. It's PWU NLIMITED. Vicious with a question here that I'm going to answer, even though he says, how often do you watch NASCAR? How often is there a NASCAR race on? That's the question. How often is there a NASCAR race on? Because I watch them all. I don't watch all the ARCA races. I'll catch an ARCA race here and there. But if it's a truck race, I try to watch it. If it's an Xfinity race, I'm most likely watching it. And if it's a cup race, you damn sure bet I'm watching it. And how many races are there a year? Well, there's 36 regular races. Then there's the All-Star race. That's 37. Then there's the duels. There's 2 of them. So that's 37, 8, 9. And then there's the Clash. Well, that's about 40 races a year for just the Cup Series alone. I don't miss a race, Bubba. I don't miss a race. Especially because I got money on the line. We do fantasy NASCAR. I run my fantasy league. If you guys saw the live stream last night, me making the graphics. Woohoo! Yeah, how often do I watch NASCAR? Actually, the question should have been, how often is NASCAR on TV? That's how often I watch NASCAR. With all of that, though, you got Monday Night Raw. You see Seth Rollins walking in the building looking like a goddamn cherry pie. Finn Balor, Roxanne Perez, Judgment Day, Ivy Nile with the Creeds, Dakota Kai, all shown arriving at the building. AJ Styles arrives inside of the number 24 Exalta Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports with 2-time back-to-back Daytona 500 winner William Byron. That was really cool. Like that popped me a lot. Yes, obsessed with NASCAR, of course. Other than my family, other than my kids, that's my favorite thing. I like it more than wrestling. Michael Cole, welcome Pat McAfee back from vacation. He goes, Cole, Pat was out of the country, and Pat goes, you may only learn a little bit of geography there, Michael Cole. I was in Puerto Rico, and that's still technically part of this country. And then we got a video package for everything going on with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They both agreed they want to fight each other. Then Owens laid down the challenge, Elimination Chamber in Toronto. Then we got a hell of a segment. Sami Zayn and Adam Pearce killed it. These two were great. So Sami comes down to the ring. Fans are chanting for him. He said, it's been a tough couple of weeks. So it was nice to hear the crowd. He couldn't think of any other 2 wrestlers in history whose careers have been so intertwined. He said, in a story this long, there's bound to be betrayal, forgiveness, and forgetting. However, there was no forgiving or forgetting Owens this time. Owens tried to end Zayn's career. The problem for Owens was that he did not get the job done. Zayn wouldn't pretend that his neck is at 100%, but he had enough fight left in him, and Zayn wants to see Kevin in Toronto, basically accepting his challenge when, well, out would come Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce goes, I know you and Kevin both want this match. I know all the people here, they want this match, but everybody in charge, I've talked to Nick Aldis, talked to the board, medical, it can't happen. You're not cleared. So Sami, unfortunately, as much as I want to give it to you, the answer's no. Pierce told him the answer is gonna stay no, and the crowd boos. Zayn goes, well, Adam, I take no for an answer. And I'm not going to leave this ring tonight until I get the match that I want, until I get a fight with Kevin Owens. Pierce goes, I can't do that. I can't sanction. He said the word. I can't sanction a match between the two of you right now. He's like, but if I just let this happen, I can't stop Kevin from what he does. I can't stop him from wrapping a chair around your head, pile driving you over and over, taking you up into the stands in the concourse and beating you senseless. There's nothing I can do to stop him. Even if you won, you would still lose. He warns Zayn that this could be the last fight of his career if he really wants to do this. Pierce asked if he understood what this all meant. Sammy gets out of the ring, walks up the ramp to Adam Pierce and goes, Adam, what if I want to wrap a chair around Kevin's head? What if I want to pile drive Kevin? What if I want to beat Kevin senseless? Pierce goes, okay, so you're agreeing to this. And Sammy says, of course I am. Yes. He goes, well, it is not official. It is unsanctioned. In Toronto, March 1st at Elimination Chamber, it'll be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in an unsanctioned match. And both of these guys were great here because it all, 100% came off real. Like Sammy was like, I know I'm hurt. I know I'm not 100%, but I want to get my hands on this goddamn guy. And Adam Pierce coming out there trying to plead to a man that he's known for decades. Don't do it. You don't want to risk your life, your career, your livelihood. He can hurt you worse than you are already. And Sammy's rebuttal is, what if I hurt him instead of he hurt me? There's a chance that he ain't going to get the upper hand. So I thought all of this was freaking great, perfect, phenomenal. Give Adam Pierce more like this. Adam Pierce is good on the mic. I didn't like the stuff he was doing back in the day with Roman and Paul Heyman when he would cower to the bloodline basically and yes, Paul, yes, Roman, whatever you want. But this stuff, this was great. And I love it's not official, it's unsanctioned. I love that line because he's always and that is official. But no, this was great. Turn myself down. I'm a little loud. There we go. All right. So, but yeah, this was great. This was awesome. Perfect. Opened up the show, gave the tone of the show of, hey, shit's about to happen tonight. Things are going down and plans are being forwarded, I guess you would say. Judgment Day then in the back. Dominic was worried about Bianca Belair and Naomi coming after Liv and Raquel tonight, and it should be worried about the Clovers. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Morgan said, don't worry about it. You got a match with AJ coming up, and I'm proud of you. Go beat AJ. Dom wished Finn, saw it our way. And he's like, we need another member with JD gone. And Finn gets up and goes, I heard my name. What are you talking about? You whisper over here about me? And he's like, no. And, they kind of bicker back and forth, whatever. And then Finn goes to leave, and he was just like, no new member. I'm like, oh, okay then, daddy. So, yeah. The funniest part of this, there's two super funny parts. Carlito's he's so funny. Carlito is great. So, they got this camera, and it's sweeping through the Judgment Day's clubhouse. And you see Carlito, and he's like, yeah, man, not everybody's in the game. There's DLC characters. It's only $5. You give me $5, I can get everybody for the game. It's only $5. And I'm just like, oh, my God, this sounds like my kids. My daughter coming up to me going, Dad, I need more stuff for Roblox. It's only $5. Only $5 for Roblox. I'm just like, oh, my God, Carlito. Oh, my God, Carlito. And then, there was another part. I don't remember it exactly, and I didn't write it down. But, Carlito did something, and I think Finn said something to Raquel. And so Carlito kind of jumped up like he was going to defend Raquel. And Raquel's like, and he pushes him off. And then at the end, everybody leaves, right? Because, Finn took off. He's going to go get ready for his match. And then Dom's got to go out for his match, right? And then, Dom leaves, and it's just Raquel and Liv standing there. And Carlito's just standing there kind of looking at Raquel. And Liv just looks at him and goes, Carly, aren't you going to go with Dom? And he's like, oh, yeah, I got to go. Okay, bye. Carlito is great. Carlito is awesome. Vic Joseph ran down Bayley's hectic schedule over the past week, including her participation in the NBA All-Star Game, Celebrity All-Star Game. And I'm like, holy crap, did Bayley have a crazy last week? So it's like, she did Raw last week. Can't remember exactly where Raw was. Excuse me. She did Raw last week. And then she flew, I guess, home. But then Thursday, no, she did Raw. Then had to fly to Orlando Tuesday for NXT. Then I don't know where she went. She probably went home. Because then, what was it? Thursday, she had to be, well, yeah, she went home because it was in San Jose. So Thursday, she had to be in San Jose for the All-Star Celebrity Game. And Friday, she had to fly to, I think it was Nashville for SmackDown. Then she had to fly to Washington, D.C. Saturday. No, I'm wrong. The All-Star Game, the Celebrity All-Star Game was Friday. She wasn't on SmackDown. Was she on SmackDown? Now I don't remember. I didn't write it all down, but Bayley was all over the country. Literally, she went from, was she at SmackDown? Hold on. I can tell you right now if she was on SmackDown. But basically, she went from Raw to NXT, to the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game, to Washington, D.C. for Vengeance Day, then back to San Francisco for the All-Star Game itself, because she was there Sunday, and then Charlotte tonight for Raw. It's like this woman is flying all over the country with one travel day, basically, like a 1 day of, hey, Wednesday, you don't got to do anything, but you got to be here by this day. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about Bayley being on SmackDown. I don't think Bayley was on SmackDown. Nope. Doesn't look like Bayley was on SmackDown, unless I'm wrong. But, yeah, no. Nothing of Bayley. Bayley was not at SmackDown. Because Friday was the All-Star Games, what I just looked up. So, yeah. Basically, Bayley joined Vic Joseph for an interview. He was filling in for Jackie Redmond, who was gone for the week. And just talked about her being in Elimination Chamber. She said, I've won one of these, and I'm going to win another one. Basically, Jackie was gone because she was doing stuff with the NHL for their Four Nationals face-off, which is on tonight. Who ended up winning that? Four Nationals. I watched some of it over the weekend, but I didn't catch tonight's stuff. We know who is it over now? I know it was on earlier. Let me see. Twitter will tell me. As of 17 minutes ago, the Four Nationals face-off standings ahead of Thursday's championship game. We're up. U.S. is up by 1 point on Canada with 5 points. Cool. All right. Cool. The U.S. is still winning. Oh, man, what? Sweden's got 5 points as well. Which one's... What's the blue and yellow flag? Sweden's got 2. Sweden's the blue and white flag? Yeah, Sweden's blue and white, I believe. So who's blue and yellow? Sweden's got 2 points. Yeah. Jackie all over the NHL on TNT. Who? Sweden is... Okay, so I was wrong. Sweden is blue and yellow. Then who's blue and white? We lost to Sweden tonight, actually. Sweden beat the U.S. 2-1. Yeah, a WWE employee on TNT. Anyways, Michael Cole announced we got a sellout here, 15,280. He talks about Michelle McCool going into the Hall of Fame. And then we have, well, AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio, where Michael Cole actually mentions he's a former TNA World Champion, former X Division Champion, and the first inaugural X Division Champion. We also get shown William Byron one more time in the crowd. He's got a gold WrestleMania Championship belt and his 2 Daytona 500 rings on. Finland, thank you, Steve. Finland. Okay, gotcha. Styles was about to put Dom away early on with a phenomenal forearm. Carlito tripped him up as Dom distracted the ref. Dom hit a suicide dive to lead to a break. Dom then hit 3 amigos and a 619, but missed a frog splash. Styles then fought back with a clothesline forearm and a corner clothesline, and a neck breaker. Carlito tried to get into the ring this time, but Styles kicked him through the middle ropes. Kind of crotched him. Referee just kind of stood there because Carlito never touched AJ, so they did nothing wrong. Dom tried to use the distraction to his advantage, but Styles caught him with a Styles clash and pinned him to pick up the victory. So AJ does get the win over Dom. And as you know, Dom and AJ are kind of getting their wits about them in the ring. Here comes the Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker sets up like he wants to spear AJ. AJ sidesteps, and Dom takes one hell of a spear. Dom takes a great spear here from Braun Breaker. Styles then hits Braun Breaker with an enziguri and tosses him out of the ring. Then Braun gets all pissed off, rips his shirt off, and he throws it back into the ring at AJ. And AJ just goes, wonk, yoink. Like one of those crazy, just I caught it out of nowhere kind of catches. Like I wasn't paying attention because he doesn't. Like Braun just kind of throws the shirt and AJ's just looking and he just catches it. Like, holy, it's like one of those where it's like you see the guy throw it and all of a sudden it just appears in the other guy's hand. Magic. I don't know. The Creed brothers backstage, they bragged about what they did to the War Raiders last week. And I'm like, what? Yeah, lost. Yeah, you attacked with the belts, but you still lost. Ivy reminded them that they didn't win the tag titles like they promised Gable. She said, but don't worry about it because I'm going to go out there and beat Dakota tonight, get a shot at the IC title, and then win that belt. Dakota then came up, and Niall told her, your Cinderella story will end tonight. Kai said many women bigger than Niall tried to take me down, and it didn't work. Planned on earning the IC title rematch tonight. Then they showed a rugby player in the crowd, Aaron Woods, I want to say his name was. I don't know. I don't follow rugby, unfortunately. It's probably like all these people going, they showed a NASCAR driver. I don't know. So, I mean, there's probably, someone that, there's probably a good amount of WWE fans that follow rugby. But yeah, like me saying that and dismissing him, there's probably so many other people dismissing William Byron instead of me getting super excited. Like, I'm super excited because, it's William Byron, Hendrick Motorsports, my favorite team of all time. But then the car, he got the car there with my favorite paint scheme ever. So that's the biggest part of it. Anyways, Women's Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria enters, and she's going to sit ringside to see just up close who her first challenger is going to be. Not her next, because there hasn't been a first. It's her first. Think about that. She's had this title for a little over a month and hasn't even defended it. But she was in an Elimination Chamber match qualifier against Bayley that she lost. Like, what the fuck? And then they're doing the same thing with this that they did with the U.S. title. The person that lost the U.S. title inaugural match is just getting another shot. Like, what? Anyways, Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile in a 6.5-minute match. Now briefly worked over Kai, previous leg injury. But Kai came back with a running boot and a chiropractor for her 2. Now powerbombed her out of the corner, and Kai kind of, sort of, tried to counter, but it didn't look all that great. Niall then caught her in an ankle lock, and Michael Cole goes, oh, Niall's got in the ankle lock, made famous by Chad Gable, who made famous before that by Kurt Angle. Like, he caught himself. He's like, wait, no, he didn't make it. It was Kurt. And you could even say, made him famous before that. Ken Shamrock. Because Ken had the ankle lock before Kurt had the ankle lock, before Chad had the ankle lock, and many a wrestler had used the ankle lock in pro wrestling. But regardless, Niall hits a German suplex after Kai breaks the hold with the rope break. Kai reversed a second one into a cradle for a 2. Niall applied an ankle lock again, but Kai used the ropes to escape and hit a curb stomp, sort of, with Niall kind of draped in the ropes, kind of slanted. It looked weird as shit, but also looked really cool. And then Kai followed up with the GTK go to kick. Picked up the victory. She will now face next week, and I want to say Cincinnati. She will face Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And the crowd just didn't care about this match, unfortunately. The match I felt was great. Well, not great. That's an overstatement. Good. I felt like this was a good match. But the crowd just didn't care at all. They were dead for 90% of the match, it felt like. Pat McAfee goes to talk to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory in the crowd during a break, and they just kind of teased more breaking up, maybe. Yeah. I don't know what the frick they're doing with these guys. They lost to Obafemi, and now they're just whatever. Like, oh, well. but we still don't like each other a lot. We're still kind of meh. I don't know. It's weird as shit. Then we had a Gunther Jey Uso segment. Mostly Gunther, but Pat was involved in this. This is actually kind of good. So Gunther was in the concourse, and he said, I'm going to do like Jey. And he's surrounded by fans yeeting, mimicking Jey Uso's entrance. Gunther then enters through the crowd and does the Jey pose. The crowd did not participate with him. He called it a simple gesture for simple people. I love how, there's this kid, so he's walking down the steps, right, towards the ring, and there's this kid kind of standing in the aisleway in his way. He stops, he goes, "Hey, little fella," or something like that. He goes, "Hey, little guy, you might want to move out of the way before something happens to you." Looks like he was healing it up, but also being like, "Oh, I don't want to mess with this. I don't want to mess with this kid. So, how do I get him out of the way? He's in my way." Anyway, he understood why the fans didn't appreciate him, because his performance in the ring were like performing Shakespeare for a dog. He was the best wrestler in this company and was tired of having to wrestle people that aren't even good enough to lace his boots. He thought that he could beat some sense into Jey, but because of the fans yeeting along, that gave him a false sense of confidence, and now Jey was digging his own grave. The crowd started yeeting. So he told them to shut up and noted how badly it smelled in the stands. He reminded them that the match would not happen in the crowd, but in the ring, where he will outclass Jey Uso. He said Jey's blood would be on their hands because they encouraged this. He wanted them to be honest and asked if they really thought Jey could beat him. The crowd chanted, "We want Jey, we want Jey," before he finished his question. Gunther decided to go ask a professional instead and climbed up on the announce table. He asked Michael Cole and Pat McAfee their supposedly unbiased professional opinion. McAfee didn't want to answer, but Gunther chucked the microphone at him instead. "Go warn McAfee, be careful, Pat." McAfee responded with, "Yeah, I hope he can beat you at WrestleMania." Gunther didn't like that answer, so he began stepping closer to McAfee until Jey's music hit, and Jey ran through the stage area, actually, not from the crowd or anything, but 3 referees tried to stop him. Jey then ran by them and attacked Gunther in the ring. This led to a pull-apart brawl, with officials getting the better of it and getting between them and whatnot, but Jey got the better of them and sent Gunther out of the ring. Jey then led the fans in a big yeet chant. Yeet, yeet, yeet. Well, this is a strong segment. Super heel Gunther, healing it up, taking on, not taking on, but picking on people and whatnot, and Jey coming to the rescue. I liked it. Go to the back, and Kathy Kelly is with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. See the footage of them being there when Jey was attacked and this and that. Morgan said, the footage doesn't show what they were doing beforehand, though. Morgan said that they didn't have time for this, and Raquel needed to go squish Perez like the bug she is tonight. Kelly tried pressing them on Cargill, and they were like, they're not having it. And they walk off, and Kathy Kelly goes, "Well, thanks so much for giving us nothing." During the break, Jey walked through the back and was approached by the New Day. Kofi Kingston said that nobody knew what he was going through more than he did as a former tag team guy going for a world title at WrestleMania. Wood said that they hoped he lost at WrestleMania, though, and then they laughed. Jey said Kofi Mania never would have happened if the Usos hadn't forfeited. Jey said New Day sucks, and then he left. Pete Dunne walked by, and Woods was like, "Hey, Butch." "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." And Dunne also told them, "Yeah, you guys suck." And they showed various celebrities whose names I can't remember. So we got a 10-minute match. It was Pete Dunne versus Penta. Penta kicked Pete Dunne right in the face early on, but Dunne responded with a drop kick. Dunne pretty much immediately took control and began working over Penta's extremities until Penta came back with the code breaker. Also, Penta had slightly new gear here. Instead of the black and white, it was white and red and looked super cool. Dunne then snapped the fingers and took over. Ludwig Kaiser then would enter down towards the ring. Penta came back with a super kick and a flying crossbody, but Dunne cut him off with a drop kick. Penta at one point fought back after the break with a DVD variation, but Dunne responded with a sit-out powerbomb for a 2. The two traded kicks until Penta hit a Canadian Destroyer. Kaiser distracted Penta, which allowed Dunne to cut his dive off, and then Dunne applied a cradle while holding the tights for a 2. Penta then chucked Dunne into Kaiser and knocked him off the apron. Penta then followed with a Penta driver on Dunne and pinned him to pick up the victory. So Penta does get the win here tonight. The crowd popped when Penta got the win, and they were super into all of Penta's stuff. But then after the match, Kaiser would jump in the ring and attack Penta. But Dunne was pissed at Kaiser, so he yanked him off of him and threw him out of the ring. They traded right hands until Penta wiped them both out with the big flip dive. I don't know where exactly this is going. I guess you would say another Penta Kaiser match. Kathy Kelly interviewed Jey Uso in the back. She asked about people's doubts of him. Jey said he was fired up, and it fired him up. He said people kept doubting him, but he was standing here, winner of the 2025 Royal Rumble. So doubt all you want. He would shock the world again when he beats Gunther at WrestleMania. They then showed Bayley at the celebrity game, and McAfee joked that Bayley being there was the only positive thing to come out of NBA All-Star Weekend. And I'm like, oof. Damn. So then we got a Roxanne Perez video package hyping up her. In case you don't know, now you know who she is. Then we get Vic Joseph interviewing Dakota Kai. Vic way taller than Dakota by like almost a foot. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4". She's like 5'5", 5'6", something like that. So they were up in the crowd. He's just talking about, hey, next week you got a shot. Get the Intercontinental Championship. She goes, yeah, you know, I was in that first Intercontinental title match and I just quite couldn't get it, but I've trained, I've learned, I've overcome, and I'm ready. I'm ready to come back, fight for the title, and win it this time. There was then a War Raiders video package hyping them up. I love the video package going, hey, these guys aren't on the show tonight, but don't forget about them. This is why they're cool, badass, and whatnot. They warned the Creed brothers, you made a mistake after the match last week attacking us with the belts. The next time they fight, it's going to be war. So then we had a women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. It was Raquel Rodriguez versus, as Lillian said, Roseanne Perez. You heard me right. Frickin' Lillian Garcia called her Roseanne Perez. Now, some of you may not have seen this because it was during the break, I want to say. But if you're watching international Netflix, you saw it, you heard it. Ugh. Roseanne Perez. It's an X, not an S, ma'am. So as far as the match is going, 7.5 minutes, and it was okay. But saying it was okay is an understatement a little bit because I feel like it was better than I was expecting. So Rodriguez used her size and power advantage early on over Perez, but Perez slapped Rodriguez twice, which just pissed her off. So she launched Perez into the ring post. Rodriguez then caught Perez in a guillotine and spun her around as commentary was distracted with Liv talking. Perez then chop blocked Raquel, hit a running uppercut, and applied a roll-up for a 2. Rodriguez caught Perez out of the air and hit a fall-away slam, followed by an elbow drop for a 2. Perez avoided a tackle, and Rodriguez then went shoulder first into the post. Perez followed this up with consecutive dives, a DDT, and a springboard moonsault for a 2. Rodriguez then blocked the pop rocks and hit a big boot for a 2. Belair and Naomi would come out to Bianca's music, dressed like the Clovers from Bring It On. This was awesome. But instead of their gear saying Clovers, Bianca's said EST. And of course, Naomi said Glow on it. But they were the Clovers all the way down to even Naomi with the 2 pigtails and the correct color scrunchies of the one girl. I don't know the names of them. Not the Eva Mendes character, but the one that had at one point the big old ring pop that she's sucking on. No, Naomi even had the pigtails with the bandana. It looked great. They looked freaking cool as hell. Dressed as the Clovers. But they came down, got into it with Liv, which distracted Rodriguez, which then led to Perez hitting the pop rocks and pinning her to pick up the story. Despite Perez being a heel in NXT, Cole said she won because she is on a Cinderella run. And I go, what? Cinderella run? A, she's a heel in NXT. B, at the last-ish pay-per-view, she lost her title. Then at the last pay-per-view this past weekend, she didn't get her title back in the main event. So Cinderella run? No. she's on a I'm on my way out of NXT run, coming to the main roster. And if this is it, then she's main roster now. Even though they did call her NXT's Roxanne Perez. So I don't know if she's fully called up yet or not. But afterwards, Bianca and Naomi would go on the attack of Morgan and Raquel, but then Raquel would pull Liv out of the ring to safety, and yeah. So there we go. The Clovers stand tall. These Compton Clovers. Seth Rollins told Kathy Kelly he planned on beating Finn tonight. After Rollins left, Karrion Kross would walk up with Scarlett, and he had a message to share. Kross thought that Jey and Rollins were both very delusional. Basically saying Jey for thinking he could beat Gunther and Rollins for thinking he can win the Elimination Chamber. He said Zayn was well too, but Kross still had hope for him. Kross said that Zayn knew that there was always time to, quote, turn things around. And the way he said turn was like that's supposed to be an important word, so I don't know. I don't know exactly what this is alluding to and what this is teasing. Then we got a really cool Io Sky video. She was like in, I want to say a swimming pool or a tank of water or something. Basically, it was just her saying, you know, in a couple of weeks, I've got Rhea for the belt. I want to win the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm coming for you. No Rhea tonight because her and Buddy are on their honeymoon. Buddy recovering from his busted ankle at the Australia show. That's unfortunate. Wrestled a whole goddamn match with Okada with a busted up ankle. And he blamed it on the smaller ring. And it happened during his entrance. He did that thing where like he gets up on the apron, walks to the corner, and then does like the float over the top rope into the ring. And when he did, he rolled his ankle. Whew, and then wrestled the whole goddamn match injured. Crazy. Two guys who are not injured. Well, it's the New Day who have injured Rey Mysterio. Woods wished Rey well. They showed us what happened after Raw went off the air last night with the New Day attacking Rey Mysterio and putting him out of action for the time being. The crowd booed, and they booed, and Woods tried to tell him to shut up, so they booed even louder. Said he couldn't believe that the fans were mad about what they did to their own friend Big E when he tried to keep his... Where Kofi said he could just keep his lazy ass at home. They were mad about what they... he said, you're also mad about what we did to Rey? The guy who was supposed to be our locker room leader who kicked us out of the locker room? Kingston said that fans put Rey on this pedestal. But I have more championship wins than Rey. I have been here longer than Rey. I didn't have to leave and then come back either. If anyone should be a locker room leader, it should be ye, Kofi Kingston. He said that it could have been a lot worse for Rey, though. They could have put him out permanently. And the fans should be thankful that they actually showed him a little mercy. They could give him the old Yeller treatment, but instead, they gave him some extra time off to go spend with his wife. Wood said that the fans should be thanking them that Rey can come back. Out would then come the LWO. Dragon Lee called Rey the greatest luchador of all time, and what the New Day did was unforgivable. He said New Day sucks, and then they ran down and attacked, and it was 3-on-2 heels. Actually, with the disadvantage, which it's like, oh my God, what are we doing here? LWO then knocked the New Day out of the ring, and Dragon Lee was about to go for a dive, but the New Day sprinted away to safety. It's always weird when you've got the heels at the disadvantage. As far as next week does go, two things have officially been announced. Lyra Valkyria will defend the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Dakota Kai, as well as Bianca Belair and Naomi defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Belair and Naomi then cut a promo backstage. They said that they also spoke about the Elimination Chamber. They'll both be in the chamber, but only one of them can win. And when they do, they're going to be watching that Rhea-Io match very closely to figure out who they are facing at WrestleMania. And speaking of Elimination Chamber, we had the men's Elimination Chamber qualifying match. It was Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. This match was good. As Sheamus would say, banger after banger after banger after banger. Match was a banger. Tell you what. Balor attacked Rollins before the match. The ref checked on Rollins, who told him to start the match. Balor was all over and hit a pedigree for a near fall about a minute in. Rollins avoided a coup de grace, but Balor remained in control until Rollins fought back and hit a suicide dive. Balor avoided a stomp and hit a sling blade, but Rollins kicked his leg out and then took over. Balor tried to fight back, but Rollins dropped him knee first on the announce table. Rollins then tried a stomp onto Balor's head on the steel steps, but Balor avoided it. Balor shoved him into the ring post and dropped him on the steps. Balor then targeted the midsection of Finn, or as he is Finn. Balor then targeted the midsection of Seth as he went to a break. As he come back, Rollins was fighting back, and they exchanged strikes until Balor hit a Pele kick. Rollins fought back again with some chops. Rollins hit a DDT and a lion salt for a 2. Rollins then followed this up later with a buckle bomb, but Balor got his knees up on the frog splash attempt and transitioned into a cradle for a near fall. The crowd chanted, "This is awesome." This match was pretty dang awesome. This was a really, really good match. Perfect main event match for a Raw. Balor had consecutive sling blades, but Rollins caught his drop kick attempt and applied a sharpshooter. Balor almost got a rope break, so Rollins let go and hit a pedigree for an extreme close near fall. The crowd thought that, that was it, and they thought Finn kicked out late, and they started chanting, "Ref sucks, ref you suck, ref you suck, ref you suck," and then Rollins gave him a DX crotch chop. Now, I don't know if the ref did screw this up. It was so close that it was hard to tell, but yeah, it was like one of those like close. Anyways, Rollins went for a superplex, but Balor dropped him on the top rope and then hit a coup de grace for a near fall. They traded counters until Balor applied a crossface. Rollins then slipped out and hit a curb stomp and pinned Finn to pick up the victory. Seth takes the final spot in the Elimination Chamber. Again, I thought this match was great. Honestly, I don't know if this match could have been better. If you're going to score this match, this may have been 4.5 to 5-star match. Like, I don't know. There was just something about it where I'm just like, this is almost a perfect match. This match was fantastic. But with all of that, ladies and gentlemen, that was Monday Night Raw. A really good episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, if you are watching on Twitch, let's get the poll going really fast. What did you think of Raw? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. If you're watching live on Twitch, the poll is now live, and let's check the other polls. Because again, I liked tonight's Raw. I was enjoying the entire show. I didn't think anything really dragged or lagged. And so, yeah, 2.5 hour show, great. As far as the polls do go, that's not what I want. Looking at the threads poll here for tonight's Raw. Boom. 69% liked the show. 31% thought it was just all right. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 74% liked the show. 25% thought it was just all right. As far as the community poll does go, 82% liked the show. 13% thought it was just all right. And 5% didn't like it. As far as the YouTube live poll does go, 82% liked the show, 12% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitch poll, 67% liked the show, 33% thought it was just all right. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up here. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, I'll be back here on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. And tomorrow, we got a freaking snowstorm coming in. Supposed to get upwards of 8 inches of snow in the next 24 hours or so. So, yeah. And it's going to be like below 20 degrees for the rest of the week. So, the snow ain't melting either. Whew. It's going to be wild. But with that, guys, have a great night. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.